Hello, welcome back. I hope everybody's safe and well and not getting too crazy with all of the social distancing and isolation kind of things. So what I am showing you today is something a little off the beaten track. I have been involved in a book arts group here in Western North Carolina. It's called the Book and Print Arts Collective, and we have been sharing mail art, and this is just a selection of some of the mail art that I have received lately from the group. And they decided to do another round, and this one they wanted a theme, so we were supposed to propose a theme, and the winning theme was detritus. Okay, well, you can, a synonym for that is junk. So hey, I'm a junk journal maker. It seemed to fit. The funny thing of it is that none of these folks in this book arts group who are primarily either print artists, calligraphers, and traditional bookbinders, and even conservationists. So junk journal is not something that they have really ever heard of. So I'm going to include with these little mail outs that I am sending a little definition of what a junk journal is. And this is just a compilation of a lot of things that are on various people's sites where they try to describe a junk journal. So this little junk journal has a seam binding closure. It is created, the cover is created out of a large envelope. You can see the closure there. And then I created pages that had to do with the coronavirus, things that I thought people in the future might ask you about. And I also created a little ephemera to go with it. These two tags here. There's a third tag coming up. And I included some little labels that could be used, like to label the book, put your name in it, whatever. And I thought that would be okay. So the first thing of it was I had a COVID song, and I was rewatching some old Disney movies, and one of them was Tangled, and there's the intro song about what she does in her tower that she's locked in all the time. And I just changed up some of the words to fit with what I do, like mail art making and brushing my dogs instead of brushing my hair. But anyway, I decided that would be my COVID theme song, and if somebody wanted to change it, they could just put some gesso on that and write their own song. Heroes of the pandemic, whoever you think that might be. A socially distanced Easter. How did we spend Easter? My little group in my little neighborhood, the kids put on an Easter parade, and they were half a block apart, and they had made their little motorized vehicles a kind of a parade car or their bicycle or whatever, and they rode through the neighborhood. And one of the little boys had painted a bunch of rocks, since he wasn't allowed to paint eggs, which are a little bit short around here. So he painted rocks instead of Easter eggs. Signs of spring. This is a funny thing that one of my dance buddies sent me about being stuck in the house and talking to the appliances, and I just thought it was hilarious, so I included it. Things that you can now do without. I'm sure we've all found some of those. I made some little note cards here that can either be like journal cards, or I was thinking my favorite new recipes from the virus times. What we miss the most. Face masks, you know, we're all wearing them now, and a lot of us are making them. I was making them and broke my sewing machine and had to send it off to be repaired, and the lady said, oh, I'm repairing so many different sewing machines now because everybody's making masks and they're tearing up their machines. So I thought that was kind of hilarious, and in my own personal one of these, that's what I'll write about. Then this is the third tag I made. I made a little envelope. The first mail art that I sent out was a pop-up card in a little envelope very similar to this. The cover of my pop-up card was that. And I don't have any more of those because I mailed all 15 of them out. It gets harder and harder to stay compliant, so I thought that would be interesting to write about. This one is the Chronicles by the Numbers. Things that people might want to know in the future. How many people do you know that had COVID? Did you know anything about the number of days that you actually spent in social distancing? How many new recipes did you try? How many books did you read? What did you do during this time? Because I wish I knew what my great-grandmother did during the Spanish flu. Then I included some comics that were just hilarious to me. I love Non Sequitur and Pearls Before Swine, but if somebody didn't like these particular cartoons, it was a perfect place to cut some out of the paper and glue them in. And then this is the little pocket in the back, which is, part of the envelope, is to store some of the mail that we've been sharing with one another. So you can see here I have a stack, because there were 10 on the list that were willing to do a bigger project, and this is my contribution. And then the other thing that I've been doing is that Nick the Booksmith had a challenge to make a mini bookcase. I don't have my mini bookcase that I made anymore because I gave it to the little girls across the street so they would have something new to play with. And on it I used a bunch of Nick's mini books, and then I decided, well, I needed to make some mini books, so I'm going back through and making mini journals based on things that I have done before. Got it upside down, isn't that wonderful? Good for me, bad for you. But if you look back through my videos, you will actually see the journal that this is based on, but I just made a miniature version of it to go in my little miniature bookshelf. So those are the kinds of crazy things that I'm doing to keep busy during these times. I hope you're finding something, and if you have a group of crafters in your area, and especially if they're fellow Junk Journal folks, having a mail art share kind of thing with a theme, well, it might be something fun you might want to try. So have a wonderful day, stay safe, keep calm, craft on. Talk to you later.